Hello, my name is Maddie Mashler. Today I'm going to be going over 3 advanced asanas. The first one being Garbha Pendasana, the second one Uttan Pristasana, and the third one Salamba Sirsasana. So of course, fetus in the womb pose, lizard pose, and supported headstand pose. Funny thing about the Garbha Pendasana pose, the fetus in the womb pose, I've been teaching it in my class for a long time, and it's probably one of my favorites to teach. And I always called it like the flower pot pose because it just reminded me of a flower pot. I'll explain in just a second. So to start this, we're gonna come with our feet in butterfly, soles of your feet together, knees apart. We're going to avoid this posture if we have any injuries to our spines, our knee, or our hips. If there's severe injuries, we're gonna stay here in our butterfly pose. This posture is excellent for massaging your spine and toning and strengthening your abs. It's just super fun to come into. It's a fun shape to play around with. So we're gonna go ahead. We're gonna thread both of our arms underneath our legs. All right, so we're gonna come into turtle, bringing your head nice and low, chest towards your heels, and taking a few breaths, getting grounded, paying attention to which points are securely down on the mat, grounding down here. Then we're gonna go ahead, we're gonna take our hands and our feet and we're gonna walk them up. We're gonna look up, bring your drishti in front of you and walk your hands and your feet closer to your torso, and eventually you're going to lift your feet up. So we're pausing here. You can hold on to your legs, your ankles, or you can keep your hands out like the roots of a flower. So we have the roots being our hands, our legs being the flower pot, and then our head and our thoughts being the flower, the beautiful flower, right? So taking a few breaths here. Finding your balancing, sitting nice and tall. Seeing if you can get your spine to come up any taller. Making your abs do a little more of the work. And we're going to come out of it the same way we came into it. So you're going to place your feet back down. Place your hands back down and unthread both of your arms. So that is fetus in a womb pose. The second one I'm going to go over is lizard pose. Lizard, again, I love teaching this. I think it is a great hip opening stretch. I have really tight hip flexors and really tight psoas, so I always recommend people who have tight hips to come into this posture. We're going to start in tabletop. So hands underneath your shoulders, knees underneath your hips, feet planted nice and flat on the mat. You can walk your hands maybe closer together, but you're going to take your right leg, you're going to extend it back. Then exhale to place the right foot on the outside of your right palm. Okay, so few important things here. The distance between your heel and your knee is going to dictate how deep of a stretch you're going to get on the top of your left hip flexor. Second thing, where are your hips? Are they congruent? Is the line uneven is what I'm trying to say. If so, we're going to try to square our hips up a tiny bit to the mat. So if that means you need to pull your left hip in slightly, then go ahead. That engages the top of your left thigh and your core, so it helps supporting you here. All right, so arms are on the inside of that right foot. You can plant your left hand down, take a twist here if that feels good to you, opening up nice and big. Or another option is you can take a block. You can place it on the inside of your right foot, and you can bring your forearms to plant down on the block. If you feel comfortable here, great. If you feel like you can take it even further, moving the block out from underneath you and coming all the way down to your forearms. It is all dependent on what feels good to you. For me, I can't take it much further than here. Got tight hips, told you. So pausing, breathing deeper, breathing into your low belly, So to come out of it, we're gonna extend our hips, send our hips back. Let your right leg glide back into the tabletop. Take a cat and cow, realign the spine here. And we'll go ahead and we'll do it on the left side. So inhale to bring your left leg up. Exhale to step your left foot on the outside of your left palm. You can place your right hand down closer to the left foot and take your twist, opening up nice and big, paying attention to the distance between your heel and your knee, and then coming back down into our full form. So again, if that requires a block, you're placing your forearms down on the block. You can take it further, move the block away, and come onto your forearms. Again, breathing to your low body. Paying attention to if you've kind of collapsed into that left hip, maybe make an adjustment there. Taking one more breath. Go ahead, shift your hips back towards you at that right heel. Send your left leg back to meet your right leg. All right. So I would probably avoid this if there were injuries to people's knees and people's hips. It's kind of an intense posture for both, and I would take them into like a more gentle lunge, or provide another prop like a blanket or something for their knees. All right, moving on. We're gonna go into our supported headstand. I enjoy this type of headstand because I feel like it takes less pressure out from your neck and from the top of the crown of your head. Everybody has their method. Everybody has their favorite way to do these balancing postures, these inversions, I suppose. So today I'm gonna start with the wall. Kind of show you where to go with the wall and use this window. I'm sorry, but my other wall is covered in boxes, so give me just a second. So, supported headstand, you're probably going to want to move your mat over. Make it long. Give you extra support, extra cushion. And important thing, so I'm going to have my hands together like this. I'm going to interlace both my fingers, and I'm going to bring my hands to right above where my ponytail is, right to where your scalp and the back of your head kind of meet in one spot. And then my arms are going to be folded in, protecting the crown or protecting my head, right? Most of my weight is going to be on my forearms, okay? So when you go down to place your head, pay attention to that. Make sure that most of the weight is grounding down in your forearms. I'm placing my head in that nice little crevice that I made with my hands or my fingers interlaced. And then I'm going to come into a form of downward facing dog, right? So I'm going to straighten my legs out and walking your feet all the way in towards your torso until you feel like you have a flat spine, long spine. And then eventually you're going to lift one leg and kick the other leg up. You have the wall behind you, so go ahead, rest your feet on that wall. All right, taking a few breaths, getting a different point of view in life, balancing and supporting. Your abs are helping you balance and support, making them tone, right? Okay, so that's first way with the wall. You can take it another way with the wall, and it's just gonna face the other direction. My tip to you, stick your hand out. If you can place your hand flat on the wall, you're probably in a good position. So that's probably where you're gonna want your head, okay? Again, same thing, my head plants down, rests into my fingertips, extending my legs up, and then I'm gonna bring my feet to the wall. And I'm gonna just walk my feet up, same thing until I feel like I have a straight spine. Might be a little too far away, but you can play around with the distance. You can mess around with the wall. Alternate your feet. And then come on out of it the way you came into it. Cool. Hopefully that made a little bit of sense. Play around with that distance. I have a hard time. I always start with the arm width apart from me and the wall, and then I work closer or further depending on what makes me feel comfortable. All right, last one. So once you feel like you can move away from the wall, it's the same thing. Same exact thing. You're gonna bring your arms down, place your head between your fingertips, extend your legs, walk your feet up, feel like you have a flat back, and then extend one leg up, and then gradually extend the other. So as you practice this more, as you do this more, you're probably gonna notice, in the beginning, you're probably gonna notice that you're shaky, you're a little wobbly, and that's okay. That is okay. If you feel unsafe ever, come out of it and make sure that you feel safe. But as you do it more often, you're gonna feel more secure in it. Those wobbles are gonna start to go away. You're gonna feel really strong and empowered in that pose, right? All right, so those are the advanced asanas. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a lovely day. Namaste.